When you've completed the theory part of the test, you're going to direct the tester over to the car, where first of all they're going to ask you to pop the bonnet. Now on different cars they do vary on where obviously the release mechanism is for the bonnet. On this car, on the Opel Corsa, it's just here on the left. So you need to go through this with your instructor and find out where the release mechanism is. After lifting the bonnet, the tester is going to ask you to point out some of the basic engine parts. First one we're going to look at here is where to put the oil in. Okay, next one that we're going to look at is the dipstick. This is used for checking the oil. Sometimes the tester may ask you how would you check the oil. Very simply done by taking out the dipstick, wiping it, putting it back in, taking it back out again, and there should be a level mark at the bottom which the oil line should be between. Next over is the coolant. Sometimes you may be asked how do you know how much coolant to put into the engine. It's just signalled there at the side by a minimum and a maximum. Beside this here we have the windscreen wiper water. Make sure that's full before you go into the test. Next over is the brake fluid. This is always signalled by this symbol here, and once again there's a minimum maximum just on the side there. So if the tester ever asks you how would you know how much to put into the engine, just basically it's signalled by fill it up to the max. On some cars they will have power steering, okay. Now on this particular engine, okay, it's electric power steering. So just once again go through this with your instructor and find out all the various engine parts. Obviously they vary on different cars where they are, okay. After the engine checks, the tester is going to ask you to sit in the car, where they then will check that the car is roadworthy. The first thing that they're going to be checking is that all your discs are displayed and in date. So make sure that you have an insurance disc, that it's in date also. Make sure that you have a tax disc, that it's in date. And also that you have, if the car is more than 4 years old, you are going to have to display a current NCT disc. If any of these aren't in order, the test will not be conducted. After this, they're going to check that the L plates are shown in the car. The correct positions for the L plates are the top right hand corner of the front window, and the corresponding L plate should be on the top right of the back window. Then the tester is going to check that your brake lights and indicators are both working. So, okay. It can also be asked in the test, how would you check the correct tyre depth? By looking in at the tyre there, at the tread there, you'll see a little nodge there. They're positioned all the way around the tyre in the main tread here. The minimum tyre depth is 1.6 millimeters, and how you know if you need new tyres is if the tyre wears down and if it's level with that little lump in there, then you're going to need new tyres. So it is something that you can check yourself. It's also important that you check that on your car that the head restraints are in place for both the passenger, being the tester, and for yourself as the driver. When the tester finally sits in the car with you, they're going to be checking your knowledge of the secondary controls. This is something that, even though you know where the controls are, sometimes the way they phrase it may throw you slightly, so it's important to go through this with your instructor. First thing we're going to look at here is to demist the back window. Next on is how to demist the front window. You should turn the dial to this one here, use the fan, and turn up the heat as well. Side lights are the first one here. Dip lights are the second one. To adjust the dip lights in the car here are just down below here. The fog lights are just beside it here. Headlights are pushed this forward. The hazard lights are signalled by this red triangle always. Back windscreen wiper, I just push this forward. Water for the back windscreen, push it forward and hold it. Front windscreen wiper is 3 levels, 1, 2, 3 up. And water for the front is pull it towards you. When the tester's asking you these, you don't actually need to put them all on. Once you've demonstrated that you know where they are, the tester will be happy with this.